Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick video and talk to you about how you can use Desmos and the graphing calculator to really see some of those important points that we've been talking about with both sine and cosine. So the function that we are going to be interested in is 6 cosine of 2x plus pi over 6. Automatically we can see that the amplitude is 6. We can see that we have a period that will be adjusted, and it will be adjusted by the value of 2. So we will have a period of pi. And then we also have a shift to the left of not pi over 6, but pi over 12. Now I want you to note, if you are using Desmos, if you try to select any of these maximum or minimum points, they will actually automatically display with the pi value. So as you can see on this minimum point, it shows that the x-coordinate is negative 7 pi over 12. We know that cosine normally starts at a maximum point, so to see the exact value of this shift to the left, if we select this first maximum to the left, we can see that it is indeed shifted to negative pi over 12. We talked about this briefly in class yesterday, so you guys can once again see that the shift to the left will be also affected by the value of b. I want to talk to you about how you can change the coordinates on the x-axis as well. Right now we see these whole numbers, and they're not necessarily easy for us to find the pi values. I guess in Desmos you can just hover your mouse over each one of your intercepts, and it will display the values in terms of pi, but it is helpful to know how to change the actual x coordinates. So if you click on the graph settings, you can adjust the window to however you want, but even if you leave the window to the way that you guys currently see it, all you have to do is change that step. So I am going to change the step to be of pi over 6. As soon as I input pi in for the step, automatically in the x-axis, the coordinates changed in terms of pi. Now as I zoom in and out, those values of pi are showing on the x-coordinate. I do find that to be very helpful when you're trying to sketch a graph or check your work on a graph. Now since you have to use your graphing calculator on the exam and not Desmos, let's see how you can do the same thing on the graphing calculator. I have already input the same function at y equals. I have cosine of 2x plus pi over 6. So if I try to graph that, this is what my graph looks like. I do see that the maximum is shifted to the left a little bit, but I have no idea what these values are. I see that the graph is not crossing any specific values. So let's go ahead and adjust the window on here as well. If you click on window, right now the viewing window is from negative 10 to 10 for the x values, and then from negative 10 to 10 for the y values. Let's go ahead and change that. Let's display between negative 2 pi. I always try to fit at least 2 periods. I know that this one will fit a total of 4 periods, but that's okay. The x maximum is going to go up to 2 pi. Most important part is the x scale. I'm going to do an x scale of pi over 6. So now I know that every single tick mark on the graph is going to represent pi over 6 because I input that value. I don't quite need to go up to 10 or negative 10 for the y values because I have an amplitude of 6. So I'm going to change that to be from negative 7 to 7. Essentially, I am just zooming in a little bit closer. In terms of the y scale, I don't have to change that. So let's see what happens when we graph it now. Oh, look at these nice crossing points. Now if I wanted to graph this or transfer this graph onto a graph on paper, I know that I have an intercept at negative 2 pi over 6. I have an intercept at positive pi over 6. I have an intercept at positive 1, 2, 3, 4 pi over 6. I have another intercept at positive 5, 6, at positive 7 pi over 6. So I can actually get some of these values knowing that the intercept that I input was each one of these tick marks represents pi over 6. Hopefully that was helpful. Bye guys.